Have you ever played a video game so real it felt like you were actually in it? Imagine a game so advanced that the characters inside were completely unaware they were just lines of code. What if our universe, with all its wonders and complexities, was actually just a sophisticated simulation run by a more advanced civilization? This is the mind-bending question at the heart of the simulation argument. The idea might sound like something straight out of a science fiction movie, but it's a serious philosophical debate sparked by philosopher Nick Bostrom. It forces us to question the very fabric of our reality. Is everything we see, touch, and feel simply an illusion? While we can't definitively prove or disprove this theory, exploring the possibilities can lead to some fascinating insights about our place in the cosmos. Let's take a journey down the rabbit hole and explore this intriguing, albeit unsettling, possibility. Buckle up as things are about to get weird. Swedish philosopher Nick Bostrom, in his 2003 paper Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?, lays out three possibilities about the future of humanity and its relationship to simulated realities. Let's examine these potential paths. The first possibility is that civilizations like ours tend to go extinct before they reach the technological sophistication needed to create such realistic simulations. Think about the myriad of threats we face, from climate change to nuclear war. These could easily wipe us out before we reach a point where we're building universes in our basements. The second possibility is that even if we reach that advanced stage, we might choose not to create these simulations. Maybe we'll deem it unethical, too resource-intensive, or simply not a priority. After all, we have a whole universe to explore. The third and most intriguing possibility is that we are already living in a simulation. This might seem outlandish, but Bostrom argues that it's the most likely scenario given the potential for exponential technological advancement. So, which future awaits us? Only time will tell. But the very act of contemplating these possibilities forces us to confront some fundamental questions about our existence. To understand why Bostrom favors the simulation hypothesis, imagine a giant jar filled with marbles. Each marble represents a civilization. Some marbles are clear, representing civilizations that never develop advanced technology. Some are cloudy, representing those that do. Now, imagine that only a tiny fraction of the cloudy marbles are actually real. The rest are simulations created by the few real advanced civilizations. If you were to reach into the jar and pull out a marble, what are the chances it would be a clear one? Pretty high, right? What about a cloudy one? Less likely, but still possible. But what about a cloudy marble that's also a simulation? Bostrom argues that, statistically speaking, it's far more likely that you'd pull out a simulated marble than a real one. Why? Because if even a small number of civilizations reach the point where they can create countless simulations, the number of simulated universes would dwarf the number of real ones. It's a numbers game. And in this cosmic lottery, the odds are stacked in favor of us living in a simulation. The idea that we might be part of a vast simulated reality raises profound questions about our place in the grand scheme of things. If simulations are so prevalent, it stands to reason that there are countless simulated beings out there just like us. This begs the question, are we the creators or the creations? Are we the architects of our own simulated realities, or are we merely figments of someone else's imagination, living out our programmed destinies? The answer, whatever it may be, has profound implications for our understanding of free will, consciousness, and the very nature of existence. It's a humbling thought to consider that we might be just one of many iterations in a grand cosmic experiment. But it also opens up exciting possibilities. If our reality is indeed a simulation, then perhaps there are ways to manipulate the code, to bend the rules of our perceived reality. Or maybe, just maybe, we can find a way to break free from the simulation entirely and meet our creators face to face. While the simulation argument is undeniably intriguing, it's not without its critics. Some argue that it's impossible to prove or disprove the hypothesis, making it a pointless thought experiment. Others point out the flaws in the argument's logic, such as the assumption that consciousness can be simulated, or that advanced civilizations would even bother creating such simulations in the first place. One of the biggest criticisms is that the argument relies heavily on speculation about future technologies. We have no way of knowing for sure if creating such realistic simulations is even possible, let alone probable. It's like trying to predict the weather 1,000 years from now. While these criticisms are valid, they don't necessarily invalidate the entire argument. The simulation hypothesis, at its core, is a thought experiment that forces us to question our assumptions about reality and our place in the universe. And that, in itself, is a valuable exercise. The simulation argument might seem like a product of pure imagination, but it's deeply intertwined with real-world technological advancements. Think about how far video games have come in just a few decades. We've gone from pixelated Pac-Man ghosts to sprawling open worlds populated by characters with their own motivations and desires. Virtual reality technology is also advancing at a breakneck pace, blurring the lines between the real and the digital even further. It's not hard to imagine a future where these technologies converge to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality itself. As we continue to push the boundaries of what's technologically possible, the line between science fiction and reality becomes increasingly blurred. What was once considered the stuff of fantasy is rapidly becoming our present, and perhaps our future. The possibility of simulated realities also raises a host of ethical questions. If we do reach a point where we can create conscious beings within our simulations, what responsibilities do we have towards them? Do they deserve the same rights and freedoms as their creators? Or are they simply lines of code that we can manipulate and dispose of at will? These questions are not merely hypothetical. As we develop increasingly sophisticated artificial intelligence, we're already grappling with the ethical implications of creating machines that can think and feel. The simulation argument forces us to confront these questions on a grander scale, challenging us to define the very nature of consciousness and the value of sentient life, whether real or simulated. It's a debate that will likely continue for generations to come, as technology continues to outpace our ethical frameworks. The simulation argument, while rooted in technological speculation, ultimately leads us back to some of humanity's oldest and most fundamental questions. What is the nature of reality? What does it mean to be conscious? And what is our place in the vast cosmic tapestry? These are questions that philosophers have pondered for centuries, and there are no easy answers. The simulation hypothesis doesn't provide any definitive solutions, but it does offer a fresh perspective. It challenges us to step outside our anthropocentric worldview and consider the possibility that our reality might be just one of many. So, are we living in a simulation? The truth is, we don't know, and we may never know for sure. But the very act of asking the question forces us to confront our assumptions about the universe and our place in it. It reminds us that our understanding of reality is constantly evolving, and what we believe to be true today might be proven false tomorrow. The simulation argument is a powerful reminder of the vastness of the unknown and the limits of our current understanding. It's a call to embrace curiosity, to question everything, and to never stop exploring the mysteries of the cosmos, whether they lie within the fabric of our perceived reality or beyond the boundaries of our wildest imaginations.